We've talked about Georgia, where he had an official visit. We talked about Alabama, where he had an official visit. Now we're going to talk about Texas, where he had an official visit, or has an official visit coming up. Now, caveat here, there are other teams and programs, I'm sure, that will get in the mix, notably like Florida, for instance. Went to Ole Miss, Tennessee, and LSU, but, I'd be shocked if y'all don't try to make a run at him as the season continues to go on. But being that he has scheduled 3 of his 5 official visits already, and he's going to take them, these are the 3 that we expect him to be picking from. And I've given more or less why I don't think he should be going to Georgia or Alabama, right? But I'm going to flip that, because I really do think that of these 3, Texas is the best option. Now, as Oklahoma fans are going to have my head for this, this is also me having a college football brain and going, I don't know, man, this makes the most sense. Now, before I get into Texas, one more thing about this. I thought from the jump the place for him to end up is Clemson, because that just fits with his psyche, with Dabo Swinney's psyche, with what they asked their quarterback to do, with what you can do as a quarterback there, how they have turned that program into the kind of place where you can have outstanding quarterback play every single year, and the quarterback is a feature, and you don't have to deal with anything outside of what's going on in Death Valley. Felt like a good place to go, but it's not on the radar right now, so we're going to what I think is the best option next, which is Texas. All right, so it's clear he's wanted at Alabama. It's clear he's wanted at Georgia. But they don't make them any different than the other 128 schools in FBS, quite honestly. To say nothing of the teams in FCS and Division III. NAIA, everybody wants Arch Manning, okay? So that doesn't really factor for me. What does is, what can you do there? What are you capable of? What is the ceiling going to be? At Georgia, I don't think they're going to let him throw the ball. I want to see Arch Manning go for 5,000. I want to see Arch Manning have to move around the pocket. I want to see Arch Manning throwing out to these F-18s as they're making an inverted dive into an unnamed military facility with an uranium enrichment site that they got to hit from miles away, paint it with a laser, and then I want to see dogfighting, okay? I want to see Arch Manning on tilt. I want to see Arch Manning get into an F-18 without a green light and make that flight in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. You ain't going to be able to do that at Georgia. At Georgia, they're going to drop bombs from a high ground and call themselves good. That's fine, whatever. Alabama, you got a little bit better opportunity there. We know that the returning Heisman winner, Bryce Young, is there. Mac Jones is there. Tua Tagovailoa is there, right? Jalen Hurts is there. Blake Sims is there. Keep going on this. However, I think Nick Saban's tipping his hand by accepting an Eli Holstein's commitment in May. 4-star quarterback in the 2023 class, for which Arch is the #1 recruit. Means you're not going to put all your eggs into the Arch Manning basket. And if I'm Arch Manning, yes, put all your eggs in this basket, because I want to be the guy. There is no competition that I want to see out of this. I want to show up and it be my football. Okay. At Georgia, you got Herschel Walker. At Alabama, you got a myriad of dudes, right? I mean, I can name 4 running backs off the top of my head, and I can play in 3 quarterbacks like I just did off the top of my head, 4, 5, 6. At Texas, it's really Vince Young. That's your legend, right? I know that there are Texas fans that are listening to this or watching this saying, RJ, it's Colt McCoy. It's Cedric Benson. It's Ricky Williams. Hell, they'll throw Earl Campbell at me, even though most of them wasn't even alive when Earl Campbell was playing football. But you know what? Fine. Okay? You can have that along with having the last, well, I'm not even going to take it there because I don't need to take it there. Suffice it to say, you, as Arch Manning, would be able to become the legend on the 40 acres, right? What Vince Young did against USC 2005, we think won't be overcome just because of how good that USC team was and how Vince said, hey, we running Texas spread, everybody get on my back. Inspired a Friday Night Lights TV show character named Vince Howard, right, where they ran Texas spread. I think that Arch could do that at Texas given the opportunity, because they damn sure wanted Colt McCoy to be that guy. And then Colt McCoy got his head handed to him out there in 2009 as Garrett Gilbert got in there and got his head handed to him by the same Nick Saban. You would love nothing more than to have Arch Manning on the 40 acres, not just wearing a visitor's pass and a polo as he is here, but in uniform at the Cotton Bowl, coming after my team, Oklahoma. You would love to see him lead Texas into its new era of the SEC, into an SEC title game, where I hope there are no divisions, so you could end up with Texas versus Alabama, Texas versus Georgia, and perhaps into a national championship First one since 2005. Now, other part about this that I find miraculously interesting and I think doesn't get enough credit. Texas gets everybody Texas wants to get, with few exceptions. Even in this last decade where Texas has been god-awful at times, where Texas has failed to produce a draft pick at times, we're talking about Texas still being in the running for being a top 10 program, even a top 5 program, even having a chance to win a national championship this year, because that's just how powerful the Longhorn recruitment reach is in the state of Texas and, states around the country. I mean, Bijan Robinson's from Arizona. I keep telling people, if y'all put a fence around Arizona and you tell Arizona State and Arizona to erect that wall, because you want them on that wall, you need them on that wall, you would have one of the best football teams in all the country. I mean, off the rip, right? Mark Andrews won a Mackey Award. He from Arizona. Spencer Rattler's from Arizona. Bijan Robinson from Arizona. Jake Smith from Arizona. I can keep throwing out dudes from Arizona. Okay? That's how far Texas can extend its reach. It can go to the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. It can get who it wants to get. And if it also erected a wall around the state of Texas, because you want them on that wall, you need them on that wall, maybe Garrett Wilson doesn't look Texas dead in the eye and say, nah, y'all not going to develop me. I'm going to go to Ohio State, where I was developed into a first-round draft pick, and I wasn't even the most talented wide receiver on the roster. That's Jackson Smith and Jigba. Okay? Texas can do that. Instead, they losing dudes like Evan Stewart to Texas A&M, right? Could have gone down there to Yates, go get who you want to get. You can go over there to Reagan, go get you a Trevor Knight if that's what you really want, right? I'm saying that ain't what you really want, but you go get it. That's what I'm saying. Cedric Benson, Midland Lee. Hello? Do I need to give y'all the Midland Lee speech again? Do I need to give y'all the Odessa Permian speech again? Do I need to tell y'all that Texas is so big that not only can they field a competitive roster for the Longhorns, Baylor, A&M, Houston, Texas Christian, Southern Methodist, North Texas, I can keep going here. And yet the flagship, the one school the university is built around, is the University of Texas. Now put Arch Manning there, where you have other players saying, I'm waiting to see what Arch Manning does before I take a look at Texas. I don't know why you are not throwing the kitchen sink at this. You need to be sending Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Cupper Manning, Archie Manning, all the Texas Longhorn merch you got. And even if that man does not want to name, image, and likeness deal, and he apparently does not, you still need to show him what the business plan could look like, because he might change his mind. I'm saying, if you are Texas, make it so attractive that this man wants to go get his master's and his law degree and run for office in the state of Texas. Make yourself open to him as he's in Louisiana. He's across the street. This is a slam dunk for me. Now, again, I'm saying this as an Okie, as a graduate of the University of Tulsa and the University of Oklahoma. I am not rooting for Arch to go to Texas. I'm telling you, it's the best place for him to go. Now, that said, Sam Ehlinger went to Texas. Oklahoma dealt with it. Just going to put that out there. They got Quinn Ewers in there now. Maybe Quinn has a great year, has another great year, and boom, there you go. You got Arch Manning there. That's what I'm saying. The succession plan is easy. Now, Texas got to keep up their end, right? Texas has to go and win football games in 2022, because nothing is going to torpedo your chances of winning the Arch Manning sweepstakes like putting together another 5-7 season. This is why I'm catching so much shade, so much hell from everybody as I continue to say Texas should be good 2022. I expect them to be up there chasing the Big 12 championship, if not more. Okay? You go and you lose to Kansas in Austin, people are not going to let you forget that. Okay? You lose to Kansas a few years back in Kansas, people are not going to let you forget that. You had Oklahoma dead to rights in the Cotton Bowl. People are not going to let you forget that. You lose to Arkansas. People are not going to let you forget that. I'm trying to tell y'all, you're going to have to keep up your end. So hand the ball to the Brahma Bull in the back that is Bijan Robinson. Let Quinn Ewers cook. Let Isaiah Nayer go do that F-18 thing. Let Xavier Worthy go do that F-18 thing. Let Jaleel Billings, you see what I'm saying here? I'm throwing at you weapons. weapons, all right? And those are dudes that they picked up off the street. Isaiah Nayer's from Wyoming. Jaleel Billingsley couldn't even start at Alabama toward the end. Ajay Hall, who the hell knows? But if he ends up over there, I'm saying, what else do I have to do to tell you, Texas, to help me help you? Again, this is out of goodness of my heart, because everything in me says I should just be dunking on this, but I'm not. 1, integrity. 2, I really do want to see Arch Manning play football. And that's what it comes back to for me. I do this job right here for 2 reasons. I love the stories of players and coaches, and I love watching people do something I physically could never. It is the reason why I raise up so many different sports, but particularly college football, because so much luck is involved in college football. I talk to great football players every damn day. Every single day, I talk to great football players. At times, I'm fortunate enough to get to identify a generational talent from his neighborhood, from his area, from his school district, who is getting the opportunity to go and make good. I am invested in each one of these kids' journeys and how they are able to get into life after the fact. I know what they're up against. I know what the numbers are. I tell you what they are. More than 11,000 kids play college football every year, and this year it's going to be over 12,000 because of the portal. They're really trying to make it more difficult for you to get to the upper echelon of big-time football at every level. It takes money in addition to your luck. And Texas, who has the most luck and the most money of most people, I mean, every year, Texas and Texas A&M bring in the most money of any major university in its football program. This is why we go so hard on Texas. This is why we expect Texas to be good every year, because when it comes to advantages, you have them. Now we want to see you take those advantages and go win championships with them, right? Many of y'all know, again, F1 counter, I'm a huge Lewis Hamilton fan. I'm a huge Lewis Hamilton fan because the man has been dynamic and amazing in a sport where he should not exist. It should be impossible for Lewis Hamilton to be an F1 driver, let alone win 7 world championships. People will tell you Mercedes has given him the best car, except for this year, for the better part of 10 years, for the better part of a decade. For the entire V6 hybrid era, he had the best car. You know what he did with the best car? He won the championships, and the only time he didn't win one in a Mercedes vehicle was when he got beat by his own teammate at Mercedes who had the same equipment. Texas, you are Mercedes. Act like it. Now go get Arch Manning and put him in the damn car. Thanks for watching this video, and remember, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos on the #1 ranked show YouTube channel.